Let's hope it isn't raining or snowing. Yeah, you're going to have a lovely time.
Yeah.
The site Steve has chosen to show me around is their station in Loch Linney. I have to say, this is the tidiest salmon farm station I've ever seen, by some margin. It looks like they've been hoovering and cleaning, but then they didn't know we were coming. So this is the feed store.
Yep.
And this is the feed.
That's it. That's what we feed to our fish.
What I want to know is, where are you at right now in this pellet? How much of this is marine fish?
If you look at this, the oil that we're putting in is 34 and the protein is 34. Unfortunately, it doesn't give a split of what's marine and what's not. But I can find that out for you.
I'm surprised you don't know that, Steve, because that's one of the key figures in the whole discussion.
The important thing for us is more on the conversion that we're getting from putting this feed into our fish.
Well, the important thing for the environment, surely, is how much wild fish is being killed to produce farmed salmon. We're coming here today to talk about the sustainability of your operation. You must have known that was going to be one of my lead questions. I'm a bit surprised you don't have the answer.
I don't know.
Okay. All right, well, should we go and have a look at the cages?
Fine.
Thanks a lot. Honestly thought that we'd have all that covered.
I'll get that figure.
Steve, what are all these coiled pipes? They seem to... is that where that rattling noise is coming from?
Yeah, these are the feed pipes. Compressed air is blowing the pellets through the pipes.
And is that happening more or less all day?
Yes, all day. Yeah.
So there's a steady drip, drip, drip of feed pellets into the tank?
That's right.
Blimey. That noise is literally the sound of...
the pellets rattling off the inside of the pipe. You can hear that.
Sort of constant noise, isn't
it?
Wow. How many fish do we have in each pen, Steve?
87,000 at the moment.
In each pen?
In each pen, yes.
Blimey! Does it worry you, the fundamental principle underlying this, that you have to kill wild fish to farm salmon? Yeah. Is that not a kind of fundamental flaw with the entire enterprise?
No, I disagree, because the fish that we're using will be fish that are short-lived, fast-growing fish, and maybe not that appealing to eat. A lot of people say, I don't like fish because of the bones. What we can deliver in salmon is fish that, if it's well prepared, doesn't have any bones, and people like that.
I think that's a little bit depressing, to think that really the entire reason this operation is happening, the entire reason that you're producing close to 350,000 tonnes of salmon a year, and that's because people don't like small fish with bones. I mean, that's the reason for this entire industry, isn't it?
Well, I think people see salmon as it's available, it's affordable, it tastes good, it's safe, we know what it's being fed on. It's got a lot of attributes that people like, and that's the reason that we buy it.
Boneless fillets of farmed salmon may be popular with shoppers, but environmentalists are less keen. Besides the issue of feed sustainability, many claim that the stocks of wild salmon have been decimated by parasites that build up on the farms. Sea lice thrive on these densely stocked fish. To prevent fatalities, they're regularly doused in chemicals that kill the lice. But as lice numbers build up between treatments, the wild salmon that inhabit these waters are easily infested, and they can't be treated. So this is it?
This is it. So that'll get placed into the water, and the fish will get siphoned out into the 2 wells on the wellboat.
Is that now going to stay in that position? Will it be able to collect all the fish from there, or do you have to dip it around?
No, we move the fish towards the funnel rather than the other way.
And that's by drawing in the net? Gotcha. What's that?
You see the zero up in the wheelhouse, that lets us know how many fish are going up. So once
it literally counts the individual fish as they go up. Salmon have evolved to swim across oceans to feed and grow, and up fast-flowing rivers to breed. These farmed fish spend their lives in cages, swimming in circles and grazing on pellets, and fatten to an average weight of 5 kilos in just 18 months. It's extraordinary. It's industrial. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, I'm leaning on it and there are fish literally under my hand going zoom, 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 zoom. What's really extraordinary is they use pretty much the same technique to catch the wild anchovies that they feed to these salmon. They stick a great hoovering tube like this right into the middle of the shoal, This great elephant's trunk is emblematic of what our fishing has become and the way we harvest the sea. We just suck it up. We've been sucking up fish for over an hour. And one thing it's not making me is hungry.
Wow, it's an avalanche. Surely this is too far. Surely.
The slaughter process is incredibly efficient. The fish are slid head first into a chamber which delivers a bolt to the head and cuts the fish to bleed them. Any fish not immediately killed are dealt with further down the line.
Must be the most efficient slaughter system in the world. How many fish will be killed tonight?
We'll be doing 180 tons of fish tonight.
180 tons.
We're doing about 20 tons in about 25 minutes.
That's extraordinary. I've never seen so many animals die so fast. With a bit of luck, I never will again. Unbelievable. You can't fault it for welfare. Fish caught out at sea, hauled up in nets, dies a much less efficient death than that. It's just, the scale of it is absolutely staggering. I had no idea we were eating so much salmon. I can't believe these guys are going to be doing it for another 6 hours. Do you eat farm salmon? No.
I've challenged Britain's biggest salmon producer over the sustainability of their operation, and they've responded with a commitment to reduce their dependence on wild fish to feed their salmon. I visited other salmon farms too and found them equally ready to discuss the problems of their industry.
What's your mortality rate like with these fish?
Probably about 7%.
7%.
At Skrettings, the UK's largest feed producer, I found out what, besides small oily fish, goes into the salmon that we're eating.
Soy protein concentrate, maize gluten, wheat gluten, astaxanthin.
You call this one astaxanthin?
That's right. Astaxanthin is the characteristic pink colour of salmon.
So that's the only pigmentation in most feeds, but varying levels of it?
Yeah.
And what's this thing here?
This is a colour comparator.
This is the chart you use to tailor your feeds to produce the final colour of the fish flesh?
Yeah, according to what the market is actually asking for.
I've even taken a look inside salmon cages.
There's no graceful way to do that.
This community-owned farm in the Shetlands is farming salmon organically. They have lower stocking densities, slower growing fish, and only treat for lice when strictly necessary. They also use a fish feed that doesn't impact wild fish stocks.
So we're basically talking about fish heads and skeletons and shrimp. I mean, the kind of thing I would put in a fish stock.
That's right.
So instead of catching wild fish specifically for feed, this is the remnants of fish that would be eaten by people.
Yeah.
I think these are fish I can feel better about eating. The feed source, known in the business as offcuts and trimmings, is relatively local and recycled. To me, that makes both economic and environmental sense.
Do you know what that reminds me of? Bloater paste.
All right.
Remember bloater paste sandwiches?
Yeah.
It's actually not that unpleasant.
No. Tastes like fish.
But although organic salmon is a growing market, it's still less than 5% of all the farmed salmon we eat.